After a 4-3 start to the season, the 2022 Florida State football team likely will be judged based on how it performs over the final 5 weeks of the season. If the Seminoles can win 4 or all 5 of those games, the season will be seen as a resounding success. That would give Florida State 8 or 9 regular season victories after going 5-7 in 2021 and 3-6 the year before that. According to ESPN's FPI, which is their Football Performance Index matchup indicator, Florida State will be the odds-on favorite to win 4 of the 5 games. Here's a look at the Seminoles' remaining 5 games in a reverse order of difficulty, according to ESPN's FPI. Number 5, Georgia Tech. The Seminoles will face the Yellow Jackets this Saturday, October 29th. According to ESPN's FPI, FSU has a 90.1% chance of winning that game, while the Yellow Jackets have just a 9.9% chance. Georgia Tech is 3-4 on the season and 2-2 in the ACC. Former head coach Jeff Collins was fired after a 1-3 start to the season. The Yellow Jackets then won 2 straight games under interim head coach Brent Key before suffering an ugly home loss Thursday night to Virginia. Quarterback Jeff Sims was sidelined with an apparent ankle injury early in that game, and his status is not yet known for the Florida State game. The last time these two teams played was on September 12, 2020. Georgia Tech won the game 16-13 at Doak Campbell Stadium. It was Mike Norvell's first game as Florida State's head coach, and the Seminoles lost despite leading 10-0 at halftime. Number 4 is Louisiana, who the Seminoles will play on November 19th. Florida State has an 85.7% chance of winning according to ESPN's FPI, while the Raging Cajuns have a 14.3% chance. Louisiana's record right now is 4-3 overall and 2-2 in the Sun Belt Conference. Their big win this season was a 23-13 victory at Marshall. Their notable losses were 20-17 to South Alabama and 21-17 at ULM. After a 13-1 season in 2021, not only did the Raging Cajuns lose their head coach, Billy Napier, to Florida, but they also lost several of their top players. They endured a 3-game losing streak to ULM, Rice, and South Alabama, but then rebounded with an impressive win over Marshall and a rout of Arkansas State. Florida State and Louisiana have never played on the football field. Number 3, the Florida Gators, who the Seminoles will play on November 25th. Florida State has a 67.4% chance of winning that game, while the Gators have a 32.6% chance. Florida's record is 4-3 overall and 1-3 in the SEC. The Gators' notable victory this season is a 29-26 win over Utah. Their notable losses are 45-35 at home to LSU, 26-16 at home to Kentucky, and 38-33 at Tennessee. The Gators started the Billy Napier era off right with a huge win over top 10 Utah, but it's mostly been rough going ever since. Their other 3 wins have come against USF, Eastern Washington, and Missouri, opponents with a combined win-loss record of 6-15. The Gators' offense has been inconsistent, and the defense has been mostly dreadful. The last time these two teams played, on November 27, 2021, the Seminoles rallied from a 20-point second-half deficit to make things interesting before falling 24-21. Number 2, Miami, who the Seminoles will play on November 5th. Florida State has a 62.5% chance of winning that game, while the Hurricanes have a 37.5% chance, according to FPI. UM's record right now is 3-4 overall, 1-2 in the ACC. Their notable win is 20-14 at Virginia Tech. Their notable losses are 17-9 at Texas A&M, 45-31 at home to Middle Tennessee, 45-21 at home to Duke. The first season under new head coach Mario Cristobal has featured one embarrassing moment after another. The Hurricanes have lost their last 3 home games to Middle Tennessee State, North Carolina, and Duke, and they turned the ball over 8 times Saturday against the Blue Devils. The last time Florida State and Miami played was on November 13, 2021. Florida State won a back-and-forth game, 31-28, to break a 4-game losing streak in the series. The Seminoles jumped out to a 20-7 lead at halftime, then had to rally for the win after Miami claimed the lead in the fourth quarter. Number 1 on Florida State's list of the toughest games remaining on their schedule is Syracuse. The Seminoles have just a 38.1% chance of winning that game, while the Orange have a 61.9% chance, according to FPI. Syracuse's record is 6-1 overall, 3-1 in the ACC. Their notable wins are 24-9 versus NC State, 32-29 versus Purdue, and 31-7 versus Louisville. Their only loss came to Clemson. Thanks in part to the arrival of new offensive coordinator Robert Anae, the Orange have become much more formidable on offense this season. They also have benefited from playing 5 of their first 7 games at home. These next 4 games against Notre Dame, Pitt, Florida State, and Wake Forest should determine whether Syracuse's strong first half of the season is as impressive as it looks. The last time they played was on October 2nd, 2021. Florida State broke open a tie game with a walk-off field goal by Ryan Fitzgerald to claim a 33-30 victory. The Seminoles led by 10 points in the fourth quarter, but allowed Syracuse to tie it with just over 5 minutes remaining. Then Fitzgerald won it with a walk-off game winner. For more of the best FSU football content in the industry, make sure to subscribe to Warchant TV by hitting the button below. It's absolutely free. And for more in-depth coverage on this topic and so much more, head over to warchant.com. You can sign up for just $10 for a year of exclusive content about your Florida State Seminoles. This is Warchant Managing Editor Ira Schofel. Thank you for watching Warchant TV.